my pleasure talking to you. Generally, what does the NEDC do?
Okay, the NEDC has been established in 2018, 2019. It came to being into 2019 with the act that was built out by then the President Muhammadu Buhari. Generally, the essence of the NEDC is to bring back normalcy into the region. You know, the region has been devastated in terms of insurgency, which it has rendered so many people homeless, as well as economic activity that has been affected. So part of the mandate of the NEDC is to see how it can bring back normalcy into the region, as well as provide basic amenities to those people in the region, and also to see how we can coordinate all the funds that are being provided by donor agencies to see how we can strengthen those funds into the right channel to make sure that we have again the responsibilities that have already been keeping to us to make sure that we have provided these basic amenities to the people that have been affected.
Oh, wonderful. So mostly you are to reach out to those who have been affected by the insurgency.
As well as also to revive the region in terms of economic activities, in terms of unemployment. Those are the actual mandates of the NEDC.
Wow. Okay, so how far have you gone with this mandate here in Gombe State?
We can say, Alhamdulillah, we have covered a lot. Coming with the commission, it has solved so many problems. I could remember when the commission came in on board in the state, it has a program called Rapid Response Intervention. This is the first project that the NEDC has embarked in Gombe State. This intervention supposedly is meant to see how the commission can intervene, or rather, let me say, how the local government can feel the impact of the commission. So each and every local government has its own peculiar problems. So some of the problems we were encountered then was the problem of health, as well as the problem of agriculture, and as well as some many renovations. I could remember in health, we intervened in some primary health cares, in which we found them very devastated, in which with the coming of commission, we make sure that we sink a new borehole there. We renovated those facilities, as well as providing equipment to those facilities. When you come to agriculture, Gombe is an agrarian state. We have a lot of farmers. So those were the areas in which the RRI focused on most of the local government. I can remember we built ADP centers, about 5 in the state. So you can imagine a local government that has 11 local government and is having five ADP centers. I think this shows how needy the state is about agriculture and how serious it is. We make sure that we build the new farm centers in these 5 local governments, as well as provide agricultural inputs in terms of tractors, fertilizers, as well as insecticides for our farmers. We believe ADP center, or let me say farm center, is a stock shop for a farmer. Each and every local government, if there is any outbreak, everybody goes to that farm centers. So if there is any announcement or anything that has to do with the farm, they make sure that has helped a lot in achieving productivity in terms of farming. So the commission intervened in that area, as well as providing all the necessary things that need for farming, as well as also information and training to those farmers to make sure that we have achieved our optimum growth and development in that area. So these are the areas in which the commission has so far intervened in Gombe State. When you come to other
education,
aspects,
you did mention the block of classrooms that have been
we have education as well. There is what we call Educational Endowment Fund. It's a sector in which the commission earlier on decided to create it, but now it has embarked it on humanitarian. It has been merged to humanitarian department now. The idea is to create scholarships to students. Subsequently, we will start seeing scholarship for the Northeast Development Commission, in which students try to benefit from those areas, as well as building new classes. We have built in Gombe alone, we have built about 22 one block of 3 classrooms. Each of these classrooms has its chair for each and every student, as well as the teachers that are going to be teaching also be provided with desks and chair. and also been provided with a modern way of teaching. No more chalk, it's more or less like a whiteboard now. So we are moving into another century, so we see it timely to say that we have provided these necessary things, as well as also provide the necessary things for these people so that they can be comfortable in their reading by providing school bags for them, sandals, as well as cardigans that will make sure that we are approaching rainy season. So this will know that a lot of parents will be glad to see the Commission has at least helped them in achieving what they wanted to achieve. So we believe those are kind of the areas in which the Commission has intervened. When you talk about the primary section, when you talk about the secondary section, the Commission has collaborated with the state in terms of building its mega schools. The word mega shows that a very big school, upgrade of one of the schools that have already been existing. It's not a brand new school, but it has been upgraded by some of the infrastructures the Commission has already provided. We have built 480 capacity hostel.
For tertiary institution?
No, for secondary schools.
Wow.
In each of the local government, senatorial districts, sorry. We have 3 senatorial districts in Gombe. We have the Gombe North, Gombe South, and Gombe Central. So each of these schools that have been identified have built 480 capacity hostel, 16 classrooms, 6 laboratories, as well as fencing of the school to make sure that being exposed to outer challenges that we are having, that you look at, we are not praying for, but we want to take measures so that we can avoid any unforeseen contingencies.
All right, so coordinator, let me ask you this because I'm curious. Coming from Taraba State, one of the northeast states, I don't know if this is also happening over there, but it sounds, is this exclusively for Gombe?
No, we all have state offices in each of the 6 states, and we also have coordinators in those states, and we believe we have the same way of approach, in the sense that, my peculiar problem cannot be the same at Taraba. Gombe has its own peculiar problem, and I'm very sure Taraba has its own peculiar problem. So the Commission looks at is a bottom-up approach. It's not an up-down approach. It's not necessarily what you saw in Gombe. It's going to be replicated in Taraba State. But I'm very sure there are some things that you see in Taraba that are not in Gombe State. So maybe when you are going, we'll see how the Commission and Taraba State can show you what we have also done in terms of development in Taraba State.
Very well. That would be great. And then basically now it sounds more like, okay, you are contributing to developing the society in Gombe State. So I won't be wrong to ask, how do you assess the new administration that has just set in, and then yesterday was just 1 year in office for each of the governors, including Governor Inua of Gombe State? How do you assess the infrastructure or governance development generally in Gombe State?
We can say we can give them kudos because we have worked hand in hand to see how we can achieve this together. Like I rightly said, in terms of mega school, it's not only the NEDC that contributed. The state government provided a 1 kilometer road in that same school in order to provide smooth access into the school. You see, when you talk about collaboration, I think the government are giving us very good collaboration in terms of infrastructural development, because if we don't have that synergy, we won't be able to deliver some of our mandate, as well as we won't be able to see what the people need. We don't want to in a situation whereby we'll be having a replicating projects. The government will be spending, as well as the Commission will also be spending. So these are some of the things that we work closely with the state government, and we can say we have done a lot with the state government.
Wonderful. So now coming down to why we're here in this hotel, talking about terrorism financing and curbing violent extremism. How does that relate with the work you're doing at the NEDC?
Currently now in Maiduguri, we have built an auditorium for extremism in order to preach out how people can avoid extremism, terrorism. Because man of the mantra that was being perpetrated then if you could remember, the Boko Haram, it started with extremism, terrorism. That was how it all started. So, looking at this effort, the Commission has done this kind of training for about 2 to 3 times now in alone, as well as other states. I could remember then was conflict management and also extremism. So these are areas in which we deploy a lot of stakeholders in terms of traditional rulers, religious leaders, as well as security agencies, in which we have collaborated so much, and we have recorded a lot of success because we have been able to go down to the communities, because in Gombe alone we don't have camps. But what we do is we have host communities. These host communities are living with our own people in Gombe State. So we try as much as possible to make sure that we provide all the necessary infrastructures and items to make sure that we don't go to that extent. As you can remember, in Maiduguri we have what we call the high risk and the low risk extremisms. Even the terrorists that have been surrendering, we have the low risks here, which are sited in Malasili, and we have the high risks, which are situated in Bolongoto. So these are areas in which we make sure that we strategize those things. We move them into strategy to make sure that we don't affect the good ones with the bad ones, so that the bad ones will not infiltrate.
Now you're talking about de-radicalizing these victims already.
Yes.
Okay.
The radicalization.
Wonderful. So it then means that what you're doing, after all, was necessitated, the commission itself was necessitated as a result of the fallout of this terrorism act and the ravaging of the northeast region. Okay, so basically now your advice to Nigerians as we're taking this campaign to community level, because they say security is every man's business.
Exactly.
The issue of terrorism started more like a bourgeoistic attack, but now it has come down to the community level where there is kidnapping for ransom, there is terrorism financing, even by those who do not even suspect that is what is happening. I can imagine to hear that a POS operator might be channeling terrorism financing unknowingly. What would be your advice to community level participation in curbing this menace?
My advice is very straight, and I would like to say people need to be very conscious of what they do these days, because what you see might not be what it is. Somebody might be you want to be of a good heart to want to help somebody, but at the end of it, you find yourself wanting. So I would like to advise communities to be please security conscious. If you don't know anybody, when it comes to financial transactions, please avoid it in order to save yourself and your family from any form of attack, or maybe disgrace, or maybe in times of security personnel being asking or trying to get who are involved, and you find yourself wanting. At that moment, I'm very sure you will not be able to explain anything. So the best way of it is to try and avoid any suspicious transaction you think you are not comfortable with.
Thank you so much for granting us this interview.
Thank you very much.